game, make a game, watch a game, watch a game! I'm a Kamen Rider.
What's up, everybody? It's the Quarter Guy, and it's looking to be a big year for Nintendo's biggest franchise. No, not Pokemon, I'm talking about Super Mario Bros. Now, this is the 35th anniversary of Mario, dating back to the original Super Mario Bros. Back in 1985. And according to various sources, including VGC and Eurogamer, Nintendo was looking to celebrate this in a big way by remastering several of Mario's past 3D games, including Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and the Galaxy games, and possibly releasing a deluxe version of Super Mario 3D World, and a brand new Paper Mario game. Let's go over well, again, like most rumors, I'm taking this with a grain of salt until I hear official from Nintendo, but some of these games could really benefit from an HD remaster. Let's start with Super Mario 64. Yeah, well, the graphics of Mario 64 could probably benefit the most, more so than the gameplay. Well, because the gameplay's foundation was solid to begin with, so tightening that up and releasing that would definitely help, but the visuals would definitely benefit the most, considering that the polygonal style of Super Mario 64 is definitely a product of its time. I mean, the game was from 1996, after all. Early days of 3D platforming, probably the vanguard of 3D platforming to begin with, but I digress. I could hardly even imagine just how good Super Mario 64 would look with a modern coat of paint. Yeah, it's getting to the point that N64 is retro. Actually, we were long past that point anyway, but yeah, I digress. It would definitely look really cool, especially seeing everything updated and not requiring a touchscreen or a D-pad to work with. 64DS, I'm looking at you. Anyways, Mario Sunshine probably needs the re-update the most because, let's face it, the physics in Super Mario Sunshine were pretty easy to break. Need I remind people of the pachinko machine of doom? I'm not sure I've met anybody who actually likes that level unironically. But I honestly think that Mario Sunshine really could benefit from a remake, especially in the physics department, because seriously, Sunshine with proper physics would probably be one of the best Mario games out there. Honestly. Of course, the graphics could also get a sprucing up, and that would look really good. The Galaxy games, I honestly think, probably wouldn't need as much of a sprucing up, because the physics I felt were great in that game, and, well, both Galaxy games anyway. And the graphics were definitely up to date, in line with the graphics of the Wii at the time. Granted, Galaxy 2 felt like DLC, more like DLC than a full-fledged game, and in fact, from what I read at some point, actually was going to be DLC, because so if they remaster the Galaxy games for Switch, I would hope they would put them in one bundle, because I honestly think that would make the most sense. Anyways, they also brought up the idea of a Mario 3D World Deluxe, which would be pretty cool. Hopefully they'd add Paulina as a playable character or something like that. That'd be cool. They would also have to add, like, some additional new stages to take advantage of stuff from today's time. But the question on my mind is, if we get a new Paper Mario, as they're speculating, well, as the reports say anyway, please, I am hoping it does not suck. I was hugely disappointed with Sticker Star, as some of you may know, and I never even played Color Splash, and I've heard it's better than Sticker Star, but that's honestly a low bar. Sticker Star pretty much took away everything I enjoyed about the Paper Mario RPGs. Specifically, the original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door. I feel like the problem was that in the original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door, the paper was just part of the aesthetic and everything else took center stage. With Color Splash and Sticker Star, they went all in on the paper and made it the whole gimmick. And that's what it felt like, honestly. A gimmick. I especially don't like that there was really no... It didn't feel like there was a sense of progression in Sticker Star, aside from the whole railroading of you across the various levels, and all the backtracking, and the fact that everything is limited, and the fact that minor enemy battles didn't mean anything because there were no experience points. That, honestly, was something that I could not stand. I mean, what's the point of random encounters in regular RPGs? To get experience and get stronger. I didn't feel that in Sticker Star. Well, some of the reports are saying that this new Paper Mario game that is supposedly in the works is harkening back to the RPGs like the original and Thousand Year Door, which I am praying for. And I'm hoping for... And I hope they do the same for, like, the character range, because all Toads all the time just does not work. It just does not work. This 35th anniversary, if these reports are true, which I honestly hope they are, this would definitely be big for Mario. Especially since Nintendo is doing other promotional stuff involving Mario, including a collaboration with Levi's, a collaboration with Legos, which is basically a build-it-yourself interactive course, which kind of makes it look like its own Mario game sort of thing, with Legos. And Super Nintendo World, which is leading heavily with Mario, from what I've seen so far. Hopefully we see other Nintendo franchises with that. Anyway, that's going to lead me to my question of the week. Which Mario game would you like to see remastered most? As always, leave your answers in the comments. Favorite comments will be featured in the next episode. Here are last week's winners. Time for the fourth wall mailbag. As always, look for the community post, send me your questions there, and I'll answer my favorites in the next episode. My first question this week comes from Eric Steltzman, who asks, if Bandai Namco gets another rep in Smash, what franchise or character would you like to see? Now, some people are thinking stuff like Tekken, because Harada has often been commenting on Smash stuff, so that's probably what some people would like to see. Some have been pointing to stuff like Soul Calibur. I personally would like to see most from the Tales series. I mean, it's not a fighting game series, it's an RPG series, so we have a lot of characters to choose from there. And I've enjoyed most of the Tales games that I've played. Not quite so much with Legendia. I kind of felt like it was a step back from Symphonia. But most of the Tales games that I played, I really enjoyed. The first one I played was Symphonia on the GameCube, and that in particular is why I think, personally, if I were to choose one Tales character to get in, I would choose among one of three. Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, Luke from Tales of the Abyss, and Yuri from Tales of Vesperia. I honestly liked those characters, and I think they would be great reps in Smash. And besides, the way Tales plays in its battles kind of feels like Smash as it is, with basic attacks with the A button and arts with the B button and directional combinations. So you pretty much have a system right in place right there. And the Mystic Arts would make for awesome Final Smashes, don't deny it. Next question comes from Paul Awad, who asks, what kind of Mega Man game do you think Capcom has in development? A brand new series or a sequel to an existing one? I honestly think it's a sequel to an existing one, because I mean, Mega Man's been getting back on its feet the past few years, thanks to Capcom finally acknowledging that there's a market for it. I mean, Mega Man 11 got over a million in sales, and the Mega Man Legacy Collection and X Legacy Collection have been hits as well. And recently we had the release of the Zero ZX Collection, so It's great to see that Capcom is introducing Mega Man to a new generation of gamers, and that's definitely helping them. It's been a big part of, it's just another piece of Capcom's renaissance, as it was put in Top 10 Capcom Fails, which I did with Josh. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I mean, Capcom has 7 generations of Mega Man, 8 if you include X-Over, and I don't think anyone wants to count X-Over. Right now, I think it's one of 2 things that are the most likely. One is that it might be Mega Man 12, which would be fine by me, though I would like to see more put into it. I mean, Mega Man 11 did indeed feel like a bog standard Mega Man game, with the Double Gear being a gimmick. I don't want to see Double Gear come back. It was fine in its one game, it doesn't need to come back. I would like to see Bass and Proto Man brought back if it is Mega Man 12, probably with some tag team system, kind of like X8 did. Speaking of which, the other big possibility that I think is in the cards, Mega Man X9. I mean, we had the cliffhanger at the end of X8 with Axel being afflicted with some kind of infection from Lumine, and we haven't seen anything come back from that. I wonder what's going on with that. Is there a way to save Axel? Is Axel doomed to become a Maverick? I feel like that's a question that's been waiting for an answer for so long, and I want to see that question answered. I want to save Axel, damn it! Alright, next question comes from the Mr. Gamer 2011, who asks, if they putted a Final Fantasy character in Smash Ultimate, which character would you want it to be? Well, besides Cloud, by the way, Final Fantasy, I feel, get the short end of the stick in Smash Ultimate, considering how little we got from the Final Fantasy series. Just got Cloud, the Midgard stage, 2 songs, and the Fighter Spirits, and that's it! No more music, no more spirits, no more assist trophies, nothing! Besides that. And honestly, I feel another Final Fantasy rep could possibly work. But I would want it to be something from the Final Fantasy games that came out on Nintendo. Someone like Bartz from Final Fantasy V, Cecil from Final Fantasy IV, maybe even Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. Bring in a villain! Possibly. I mean, Kefka is one of the most memorable villains of the whole series. I mean, in terms of villains, he's right up there with people like Sephiroth. And people have argued over which villain's better for a long time, I'm pretty sure of that. But, that's my take on that. Next question comes from White Darkness, who asks, will you do a remake of Top 15 Most Hated Video Games? I've never actually done that topic, Most Hated Video Games. I did Most Hated Video Game Characters, and honestly, besides from the fact that video aged horribly, it's hard for me to actually aggressively dislike, it's hard for me to actively hate a character nowadays. It's like, usually I appreciate them for what they are, but I think it would be easier for me to do a list of characters that are intentionally hateable, as in the kind of characters that the writers and developers want you to hate. Characters that are despicably evil or are hateful in their actions, characters like that. I honestly think that would be easier than coming out with a list of characters that I just plain hate, and I think that would be more interesting, and it would be easier for me to do without devolving into unintelligible yelling. Nobody likes that. Last question this week comes from Elizabeth Chavaria, who asks, well, actually, it comes from her son. My son Gustavo asks, what were your thoughts about a playable box in CTR Nitro Fueled? Well, Elizabeth, tell your son that my answer to that is... what?